Jeff, and we're back on air with Envy versus Dream Player here at 8:30 p.m. AEST. Set 1, Spirit on Wrecker's Yard. A little bit tongue twisted there. Set 2, Ghoul on Suffocation Pit 1, and a tiebreaker of Slasher on Cold Tower 1. So, a lot of renowned favorites here as far as map selection goes. Wrecker's Yard, just stock standard. It's always been Spirit's home ground, and Ghoul in the Suffocation Pit 1. You just saw it last series, and you got to see it again this series, followed by the tiebreaker of Slash on Cold Tower 1. Now, Slash is a weird one, considering that's his first time being in OSL competitive, so we didn't know quite what map to really put him on, or at least we had somewhat of an idea, and everybody just came to the same conclusion. Cold Tower 1. Why not? It works. However, Spirit on the Wrecker's Yard first up. It's going to be Chen on the Spirit this time around, with the likes of Ellie, Mango, Bravo, and Chief all on the opposite team, which is quite a different lineup to what you had seen in the main season, as they had to go through a little bit of a roster reset just before the final stage. These guys, we're going to be taking the first hit onto Chief, who's just making down into the Shack, and the Shack pallet is just going to be going down. No FTP funny business happening on there on outs, as we do have Light in Hand to make down to mid 12. We do have the likes of a Serpent tile. I'm not too sure what we can really do with this. However, we might just opt to leave it entirely and go for a better death location over into the guts of 12, where we break line of sight very nicely and have made actually a fairly good chase for what it is worth. What was looking to be actually pretty troublesome in the starting game now looks like it's more in Chief's favor, as we do have in the background 2 survivors doubling a generator, and I do believe that's another single in the background there happening. So I don't think we're going to be able to get this Pain Resonance in time for the first generator. It's going to pop just before us. However, it is going to hit Mango's gen, so he has to be wary of that and has hopped off like clockwork. Straight back into the phase is Chen, and all of a sudden, the survivors find themselves in a much better position than what it was looking in 30 seconds into the matchup. Chen just going to be scouring out here over at 11 to see where did Mango go, but he's just made all the way down into 10, where he has that dumpster filler to be working with if he manages to get found out. He also does have the likes of Sprint Burst and Fixated to get himself in a better position, and Sprint Burst to just send it away with all the distance that you've been bought out there. Survivors opting to leave Chief to go to just a little bit longer, more closer to the second stage before actually playing very preemptive. And the killer knows that it's going to venture off a little bit further on and go for another chase up. But since you venture too far on out, it's going to be unhooked in the background there, which is going to allow the survivors to reset the tunnel out. As you do take the chase onto Ellie, do you leave and go back to the tunnel out, or do you just commenced on back the chase? And I think we're just commencing back on here, because there's no real reason to go back for the tunnel out. We don't make it before the reset, so we've reset the game, which is going to narrowly stop it and put it at a halt again, as we do have another Pain Resonance to be used. But all in the meantime, for this to be worth our while, Gohan, I dare say we need to be finding where did Chief go.
Indeed it is, and it's going to be quite hard to find him, as he is now healed, so you're not going to be leaving any blood behind. But Chief is leaving a lot of scratch marks, so if Chen was able to go to the opposite side instead of going into the other side of the map, he was able to probably spot him out. But nope, we've gone down to 5, popping 5, unless this is 11, I could be mistaken. I usually get these call-outs that flipped. My apologies if I did get that wrong, but as usual, with the add-ons of choice are going to be, for both sides, it's going to be Muddy Sports Cap and Rusty Flute, as that is kind of just the stock standard for now. It is not required that you must use those 2 add-ons, it's just clearly what everyone does prefer. But I would like to mention out as well is the ping is looking very grim, especially for Bravo. Bravo is on around 240 ping, while the rest are on around 110 to 140. But obviously, as they haven't incurred or asked the refs, they are not permitted to be able to restart, and it's obviously been way past 90 seconds by now. So if anything does happen from here on out, it is just unfortunate that they can't restart. But Chen is going to be trying to find, or Chen, sorry, is going to try and find his next chase, and he has found Ellie as well, and now Ellie is going to drop this pallet, instantly going to be breaking it as well on the side of Chen, and now we just got to try and play it around this lovely, and we are going to be getting the hit through the stun as well. Mighty unfortunate. Mango is going to be trying to get this gen done, and unfortunately there as well, Ellie is not going to be able to make it. And we are going to see the pop onto the gen as well, so Mango has just got to try and stealth away or try and not get found here. He does got the pallet, but no, we are just going to opt to try and find Ellie again. So we are going to be getting this And now we do get the pick up onto Ellie. So now we are going to be going there, getting the hook onto Ellie again for his second stage. And oh, okay. So they signed up as SEA, but they are NEA. That's very
I can
interesting.
clarify that. I
Is it
did
because their team was mixed and it was more SEA.
No.
the time?
It was just funny enough when we did the what do you call it? The sign up confirmation form when we asked them to give their location, they said SEA and not NEA. I do believe this is a Chinese team, Gohan. So we
Oh,
are on the
okay.
correct service here. You know, just some of the routing from Sydney can be really horrid, and you know, Bravo's really feeling it at 250 ping. Oh, this is assuming
Still
assuming he's from Sydney. Barely. I mean, yes and no. It's a different look. It's playable, but you have to play it in it being a different game. It is severely a different game. Oh no! And we've called out Ellie here just before the pallet after she's trying to stealth out her remaining stage. Wait, the beamer save coming in from Mango. He's missed it. No, he's missed it.
Mango
Oh,
didn't think that he would just
fumble.
insta
It's a
pick
little-
there.
it's a little bit of a fumble. I can't lie. I think
Oh, that's unfortunate.
he didn't anticipate the insta pickup. He's going to be getting slapped after dropping that pallet too over at 9 and forced to use the dumpster here. Has to be really attentive with his ears for the phase, but we're not going to be phasing anytime soon as we were in that cooldown phase. Sorry, I
Oh,
apologize.
and we
I thought-
found Chief now.
yeah, going to be commencing to chase back onto Chief, who's just ran into the killer there, trying to, you know, hide his scratch marks. But ultimately, when you see the grass move and you hear the little bit of breathing, you can just kind of chop up to the fact of, you know, where the survivor is. And
Oh.
unfortunately, it's not going to be the chase that we saw at the start of the game. It's going to be a nice set of tags and a down as far as Chen goes here. And all of a sudden, he's looking like he's in the box seat once more. And he did. I mean, granted, yes, he lost his tunnel out early on in the game and went for like 2 different survivors hand in hand, but he just backed it up with some quick chases onto Ellie. She was caught in positions that she couldn't really make away from, where she really needed to last. And we do see another generator in the background proc. It's still doable for outs. It's looking unlikely. It's looking like 4K1. It's giving 4K1. I don't really know, but Chen just has a hook in the middle of his generators, can just pressure the middle top portion of the map. But we managed to get the pull from beneath our killer's nose. It's going to be Zabravo in chase now after eating that slap, and Chen just following up here, just closing in that distance. Really trying to sight out if there's anybody within this area of 10. And I don't think there really is. There was somebody on a generator, but I don't think it was over at 10.
6, I
Yeah,
believe.
let's see. Yeah, it was Mango on 6. So I mean, just again, really trying to find where that unhooked survivor went, and we do manage
Always
to
Chen's on
get
the
it turned back
prowl,
the clock
though.
as well. Yeah,
Oh, no, he's found Mango. Yeah, that is not ideal. He is going to go down. He's going to try and go into the locker. Oh, never mind. We're not going into the locker to try and waste a little bit more time. And I apologize, Hunter. You can go. I am sorry.
no, that's fine. We are going to be getting that pick onto Mango there, who's just going to be hooked here over at mid-6. And then we're just going to be traversing back here. So it's pretty rinse repeat scenario. You kind of see yourself in the same exact spot that you did just a few seconds ago, where you get a down, you get a hook, you get a down, you get a hook. All in the meantime, you're just really struggling to keep on top of the gen pressure. You do have the likes over at 11 and 6 to be working with, which are the furthest points of the map as it currently stands. And that's exactly what the survivors are doing. However, you need to last. And, you know, with limited resources on the map, with everybody on ping, it can prove to be a little bit more difficult than what is set to be on paper. As we do just greet this pallet here after using our balanced landing, we do make it around for the second time and do drop it in our killer's face. It's going to be Zabravo in chase over here towards 10 LNTs. He does medium vault the window, but can he win the 50s? And he doesn't. He goes for a little bit of a crouch tech and ultimately does result in a tag. Does go down to 12. And do we commence the chase back onto Zabravo here as the killer? And we do, because he is injured. So if we can make this quick, this could be troublesome. Was that a failed? That wasn't a failed dead hard, was it? It's going to be him on the floor. It might have been. It might have been. You anticipate that he won't be on 250 ping. I think I saw the animation change just before my eyes, which is like quite strange. Even though he's on ping, he probably should hit it. I don't know if the spectator bugs have anything to do with that client side or nothing. Yeah, wow. That was really, yeah, that was ugly. I mean, ultimately, you want your survivor that's going to be the least amount of ping playing the dead hard, right? And in this instance, that is Mango. Mango is on 110. And we knew that was going to be the case given his location. So I'm very surprised to see why we gave it to Zabravo, because under any circumstance, I do believe 160, 180 is usually the average for Sydney if you don't have bad routing. Bad routing does tend to be about 250. You do see the likes of, I think it was Chief on 140 or Ellie, and yeah, just, I mean, you would expect Zabravo to be on that kind of ping. However, he does get the dead out that time. The 260 MS Warrior strikes for the one time. He's on his death hook at the moment, so he really has to play for his life as he does pre-drop the pallet here over at 2. Does he make a round for the second time? He doesn't, because he's been cut off and the camera movement's been a little bit janky, so he wasn't able to catch sight of where the killer went and counteract their movement as he does force the grab over in the locker. Maybe, potentially maybe, we can get that double on the generator to get 4K1, and I do think that is going to be the case as we traverse there towards the 6th tile. Chen will not make it there in time. It will be popping just before his eyes. It wasn't even 6, it was over at 11, so 2 survivors left in the trial healthy. 1 killer, 2 dead. Is it looking like there could be outs here? I mean, to put it in retrospect for you guys, that would mean that somebody would have to sit on a generator for the remainder of the 90 seconds, and then another chase happen to last just a long time. And it would also require that our killer does play for a down that's unrealistic to get in every way, shape, and form. So he's probably going to get the tag onto Chief and go back to his gen patrol. But Chief is making work here, and as I say, that caster's curse, he does vault into the loving embrace of Chen, and like clockwork, as I had said, take that tag straight back to the gens. He's gone to the right one as well, so there's this one over here at 12. It's sitting about 50. Mango, use Sprint Burst to go down into 2. Has made away entirely. We haven't even wasted any time kicking the generator. We're really trying to sniff out where did Mango go. And he's just hiding out over at Edge Map. All in the meantime, Chief is kind of sitting pretty over at 6, so there's a nice split going on here. You know, have the likes of somewhere in the middle, 12 and 6. Honestly, I said the furthest point was 11 to 6. I didn't remember that we actually had 12 still left on the map here, but gonna be taking the break at the pallet. Still trying to look for Mango. Maybe just leave and look for Chief. You know, I think we've spent a little bit too much time over here in the 12 section, and that's a good comm coming in from the teammates to make sure that our killer has ventured off our survivor has ventured off the generator just in time as the killer does close in the distance over towards 6. You do see Chief stealthing over at 7. The game can go either way. With a split like this, with only 2 survivors left in the trial, with a killer with no information at the moment, and the Spirit is quite slow, out of phase. If she doesn't find anybody, could be problems.
Indeed, it can, and yeah, we do see there's going to be a very push and pull match from here on out, as now they have to try and figure out if they can get a reset within all of this, or do they just have to try and keep committing and trying to get those resets and being able to leave just in time before the killer comes back. And we are going to be seeing that he has gone back down towards this 6 area, or 12 side area, my apologies. But then now in turn, Mango is going to be able to stealth away, and now he's going to basically see and figure out where is Chen going to go next. Is he going to be able to tell Chief, like, hey, he's leaving, you should probably dip now? And he has made the comm, and Chief has now ran away. He is going towards the 7 side of the map, but Chen has tried to go for a little bit of a mind game here. He's used a phase to walk away, but then came back by walking as well. So try to see if he can figure out if Mango would try and go back a little bit earlier, but unfortunately Mango was able to be a bit more patient. Now Chen has been able to spot out Chief as well. Unfortunately this time Chief was not going to be able to go on the opposite side of where Chen was going. So now that is going to be the chase onto Chief, and if he can get this down quite effectively and quickly, he is going to be able to do that as well. So now it is a situation of, does he hook and then play for Hatch, or does Chen go for the slug? And it does seem he's going to go for the slug. So Mango is going to work his way over towards Chief as well. Chen now is in this situation where he has to find Mango. Otherwise, we might be seeing a trauma tech here, Hunter.
You might just be, and it'll be a very slow game from here on out, because the remaining stages on Mango do matter. It will take away the win condition if he does escape via the hatch, and I think our killer will probably just opt to go hook Chief to get the game underway and just block the hatch potentially. No, we've opted to kick 6 and still trying to be in forever of search. Mango does just hide out in the basement here, so Chen is looking at all the wrong places, and he doesn't know that. He has no information. There's nothing to him. However, all this will really do is just eliminate the tie condition per se, and we do manage to get the pickup in the background there back onto Chief, where maybe we can sniff out where Mango went, and he's over towards 9. He's played a really good stealth game throughout the whole trial, so he's just sitting behind the Ute. And Chen just going to be back into that phase, straight back onto the case of Chief, who just roams all the way down into the guts of 12. Does utilize that window effectively here, but he doesn't have a pallet to be working with. He's going to fake the window, but we're just not going to fall for it. That's just going to be the down onto Chief again once more, and the slug back over towards 12 means the killer is going to be checking over towards 11 for the stealth pool, not realizing that our survivor went for the gen pressure over towards 6, so honestly, he's thinking correctly, because I mean, who would think that, you know, the survivor would go back to 6, right? So he's gonna check here over towards the edge map before he does that. Now, I mean, there's not really much you can do if you're Mango. You can go back for the pickup and play for the trauma tech like Gohan was alluding to, and that will just allow Chief to kind of sit the generator in front of the killer's face, and, you know, Mango to camp the hatch out. So we do have Chen just sitting on a vantage point, really trying to sniff out our rotation. However, it has been made, and we have picked up Chief. Chief up and at them again. So is Mango. Chief's still injured, so not really much he can do. He is just trying to haul ass away down into the guts of 3, and Chen just going to be running into Chief there with FaZe, and it's going to be slapping him on the floor. He's about halfway done on his timer, 2.5 minutes left on him, left on his bleed out. Mango just, again, playing that stealth really well over towards 11, but our killer closing in and hopefully checks every little nook and cranny over towards the tires. You're so close, and he's checking the edge map, not thinking that we're ever hiding in plain sight. We have lost Mango again, yet again. He's even able to just work 12 in this instance here. He's kind of evaded the killer at all points. Chen over towards mid 12 again, trying to catch sight onto Chief. Does see a crow fly up, but that is our down survivor, so he knows at least where his whereabouts is. Chen back over at 6 is really worried about this generator here. The split is mean to Chen at the moment. It's looking extremely grim. He's, again, just walking over towards here of the dropped pallet, but Chief has crawled all the way into the 2 corner. We're going to be taking the hook here, so it's going to allow Mango to potentially play for that hatch, and we're going to be hooking Chief a little bit closer to it. I don't think we have enough time to actually make the hatch. Oh, we've baited him out! What a smart play! And that's going to allow the chase to be commenced back onto Shaq, and that's going to be a tag on to Mango, who's just forced over into 2. Nothing to really work with from here on out. We do get the pickup back onto Chief. He's back on the floor, and there's not much you can do from here on out, but we do need him down quick just before. Even if Chief bleeds out, it's all remaining stages given to Chen, and my oh my, did he do very well to capitalize on that. 4K1. Crazy good stuff here, Gohan.
Indeed it is, and yeah, holy. The fact that he was just trying to drag him as close as he could to the shack would suggest that he was just going to play for hatch as well, but then unfortunately Mango did reveal himself just a little bit too early, so Chen was just able just to drop and then just go straight for the chase to secure that 4K1, so well played on Chen for doing that, baiting it out, and then...
What I'm talking about, the 4K3 scenario on the Dead Dog Saloon Mr. Race set.
Aye.
There's some...
Let me live that down, are you?
Oh, but no, I just like to bring it up for this point, is sometimes you play amongst your win condition and it can really come back to bite you in the ass, and hopefully you can see that happen here for Envy's sake. You know, the survivors play 4 generators, pop, they get overzealous, and you get all your downs at 4K1 or potentially even 4K2, right?
Yeah.
But you're banking on the misfortune of things that the survivors do to aid you, and that shouldn't really be your main motive here. It should just be, I need to make these chases quick. I need to play aggressive on my tunnel out. And in a scenario like this, I guess you can afford to play very aggressive on your tunnel out. And I need to force the arrow on ping. I need to take advantage of the ping and whatnot as well. Because, you know, it being a high ping set, you can do that. You have the luxury of doing that. Granted, if it's not ping, you can't. However, you would expect maybe, just maybe, you would have to be fighting for this type of win condition on a spirit set. That being said, it's going to be Ellie loading in this time around and traversing over to the top section of the map. We're going to be seeing if we can find any stealth out survivors here, but we find the likes of nobody. As I say that, we have found our Rebecca dropping that pallet here over at 12 and making a whole lot of nothing. It's going to be a tag out in the open. Now, you really have to make a pallet from here on out if you're going to make this chase worth your while. We saw Chief have an early hit last trial and pull an amazing chase out of it. Can we see the same thing this time around? Ellie swinging into a whole lot of nothing. Does get 10 plus metal though, and really trying to close in the distance here to our survivor Zio, who does drop the pallet here over at corner 11. Does vault the window as well. Do they have an exhaustion to be working with from here on out? I'm not too sure, but a little bit of whoopty-whoopty is going to spell a little bit of what's the word for it when you get lost a little bit? I don't know, confusion, I guess, but ultimately, this is still going to result in a down. It's going to be Rebecca on the floor. Zaya going to be slapped on a pain resonance hook, but it's not going to take into effect on the double generator. At least I think it's not. Oh, that was awfully close. Go hard. It's the exact same start.
Yeah, they got the double up and got that first gen popped, and now we have Feng Yan instantly into the chase as well. Ellie has gone straight to that area, being not going to go for that turn back the clock, is going to go for that eruption instead. And we do see a bird fly down, but that unfortunately was from Ellie. So Ellie coming back here is not going to really find anyone just yet. So actually, I just want to point out this gen split for where the hook is disgusting. So this actually could go in Ellie's favor if she plays this right, and if the survivors do make those mistakes that you forementioned as well. Because as you said earlier with the Wraith game, I was able to capitalize on a lot of mistakes the survivors were doing. In the end, I didn't unfortunately win because I probably should have picked up the fresh hook before I try to find the other bro, but hindsight 2020 kind of thing. Probably would still make the same mistake if I was turned back in time, but we do see the save going in here, and it's going to be a trade instead. So we are going to be seeing the option. Are we going to be seeing the option for the insta pain res? And we are. So Hawkson is going to have to, or Hawkson is going to have to try and hop off his gen instantly. And unfortunately not making it in time, the comm not coming in just quite when it's needed. So now we're going to get the chase straight back on to our tunnel out here. And as you mentioned earlier, Hunter, you want to see an early tunnel out and a really quick tunnel out, and it looks like you're getting what you want because this guy is going to be on the chase. And right now, Ellie has to do whatever they can to try and get this down as quick as possible. And unfortunately, Xiao Dao is not going to be able to get it, going to be dropping it on the side of towards Ellie, and instead, not away from Ellie. So it's gonna get that down, and then, but the ace in the background is gonna be working that generator and is gonna get that generator pop. But as I said before, this is a grim situation to be in for the survivors, because where this hook is bank smack in the middle of all 4 gens that they would need to be working on, Hunter.
It's honestly the exact same match as last time around. However, this is the deciding factor here, Gohan. What happens after our survivor is off the hook can spell what happens throughout the entire game, obviously, right? But we need to last if we are going to be taking away this set as Dream Player. But if we are on the side of Ellie, we need that down to happen very, very quickly. Now, she's just going to be patrolling this area, playing very safe, and I think Hawkson might even pop his gen as a result of it because she wants to facilitate the tunnel out here. With 4K2 currently looking like a worst case scenario at the very least, you still need to manage to get the tunnel out off the hook. That's a given. That's a given. Ellie's just going to be pressuring the generator here over at 9, and the unhook does happen, Yuan, and, you know, our survivor here, Zaya, is just going to be hauling us down towards the shack pallet where it is going to be dropped, and it's just going to be trying to make a death location over towards 6 because that's all you can really bank on here. If you get Huaxin to take a hit, you can potentially last a little bit longer, maybe even Feng Yang, but all in the meantime, you need those 2 other survivors that are not currently in chase to be pumping away pistons, you know, Lightning McQueen style, as we like to put it here. But Ellie going to be taking the break of the pallet there over at 7. We do have the likes of mid-10 to be dropping as well. We just have to haul us into the edge map potentially, but we've just gotten a little bit caught on the rock there and lost all of our distance onto our survivor. Do we make the pallet as well? 4.4 killer dead hard! And the gen popping in the background. Hawkson about 30% of the way done on his. We need the bodies coming in now. A force locker grab coming in hot. We're going to be grabbed out on our killer's shoulders. Tie condition is at stake here. Are we tripling that damn generator? That thing's flying. Mr. Spectator, get it quick, jigger out. Look at the progression.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord. Oh, it happens in the span of seconds.
Damn. All I can say is, wow. the events that just occurred for such a short amount of time was a roller coaster. Because we saw that gen pumping away, but unfortunately, because DVD is DVD, we didn't actually know that all three of them were on the generator hunter.
Oh, you just go, hun. It was flying. I could have told that from a mile away. I saw the generator at about. Okay, so when they were in chase, granted, they went down, and I think the generator was about maybe 45% of the way done. On the killer's shoulders. Oh no, wait, sorry. No, they were in chase. They hopped in the locker. When you saw them over at mid-6, it was 45% of the way done. When they hopped in the locker and got pulled out of it, the generator was damn near 75% of the way done. You just knew that was going to be the case, that they were tripling that. At least a double. But with the way that thing was flying, man, those pistons were pumping, you just knew yeah, that was their make or break there. That was their key opening. And I wanted to see an aggressive tunnel out. Ultimately, it caught Ellie in the end. She wasn't able to capitalize. We did manage to get, actually, well, there's 6 stages out the door at the moment, potentially even 7 out the door, which means that a killer will only be awarded. Sorry?
Yuana's going to get out as well.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, to the second set of the first match. We are going to be seeing Bravo on the killer, as I had mentioned before. It is not going to be Mango, because obviously, as we said beforehand, yep, Bravo did join before the roster lock, so he is able to play the killer. He is going to be running ground fresh coffee on for the Ghoul with the leap speed of 14% increased. But instead of running what the killer is going to be running for the next match, it is going to be Carnegie's Satchel, which is a speed increase of the third leap by 30%. So he's going to be trying to go off for those cutoffs. And with the ping, you might get some nasty, you might actually get some more nasty cutoffs as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we go. And we know Bravo's killer is quite nasty, so it is no surprise here to see Bravo is going to be playing the Ghoul. Flatline's a Ghoul player, actually, if I remember correctly as well. Bravo playing most of the killers for Flatline, unless it was a killer that someone else was more tailored to. But Bravo is now just going to have to try and find his next chase. He is going to be searching around the top side of the map, as someone is going to be around this map, and he believes someone's actually around this rock as well, but unfortunately no one is around to be seen. So we might be seeing someone actually making their way down the map, but we got an open generator here at 2 as well, so we might get some progress on that. But everyone is sort of still at the top side of the map. Not many people have been able to get a chance to rotate down onto the bot side of the map. So we got Ace here. He's kind of stuck here, but Bravo has ventured all the way down towards 5 side, going down towards 7. Not going to be able to find anyone just as of yet. So all the rotates have been quite slow, but our build isn't anything to do with Boons. It is going to be what Ellie had used previous game, being Erupt, Pain Res, Eruption, and Turn Back the Clock. So we're going to be seeing something interesting here. Unfortunately, Bravo's still trying to look for his first Chase Hunter.
They're really trying to sniff out towards those corners there over towards the likes of 3. However, he still hasn't found anybody. Now, Gohan, I want to point out that this is a complete different way to play this set, different way to play this killer. Instead of going for something a little bit more ambitious where you go fast rotations, heavy on the aggression, these survivors are all playing very stealth-like, and you would anticipate in this instance that they would go for some sort of a quadruple split, realistically, 1 on each corner of the map. And I really like this play, especially given the fact that we have not found our first chase just yet. As I say that, we have found the ace. Mr. Huaxin himself just going to be slow vaulting that window, but where did he go from here on out? Did we get a tag there? Oh, we did, but it didn't get the injure. We have 3 dashes in hand to be working with. Nice check spots coming in there from Huaxin. Does he make the window here? He does so very nicely. Bravo still trying to play the mind games and wins the 50-50 there. He's going to be slapping our survivor, Huaxin, who's just going to be... I'm sorry, I thought he W'd away entirely from that. Came back to slap us in the face and give us a kiss, I guess, but he's been blocked at the pallet there and probably should have made away with the distance, in all honesty, because he sacrificed the speed boost, got rid of a resource for an extra 5 seconds to chase that. It was just not worth it, in my opinion, and went down mid. Ultimately, probably should have just ran to a corner of the map where the generators weren't being worked, but hey, who am I to judge? As we do take the hook there, it's going to be Pain Resonance in the middle of the map. It's going to be a break onto one very, very strong resource as well, might I add. Zabravo. Happy to take ground into deep, bottom where there is this generator just slowly being worked about, you know, one piston done over towards 7, but doesn't really see any real reason to overcommit anything in that vicinity. There's no real problems or worries there. As a Bravo is just going to be going back to the top portion of the map where now he has the eligibility to press generators on all portions of the map, and there's going to be no progression to really be too worried about because we were stealthing the entire start of the match, and our killer will know that. Now, oh my god, I was about to say, where did the cake go? Hello, they're just behind the generator as they do take the tag here. It's going to be a break of the generator with eruption applied to it. We're not going to be utilizing that turn back the clock value, as we don't really see a means to do so just yet. It's more for generators that are out of our reach and we're in chase simultaneously. That's where the perk really prevails, is when, let's say hypothetically, you have a tunnel out or you have somebody that's injured and you really want them on another stage or on another death. Huh, funny, shocker, I know, right? But if you see a survivor that's injured running past the generator, you just look over to your right while still chasing them, bang, hit your keybind, and there's an extra 10% gone on the generator. That's where that perk will really progress. So that's the real reason why he wouldn't use it in that instance. He wants to get his eruption value, and he can get it if he downs Hwoxin in time. Now, can Hwoxin make work of the pallet here? He has light in hand to extend the chase just a little bit. The tentacles coming in, needs to play the 50s, needs to win the 50s as well. He goes down, and we get eruption value over at 7, but it doesn't matter. Eruption value over at 1. But 7 pops in our face. It's going to be the tag onto Feng Yang, who was working 7, was our culprit for popping in our face. However, it's going to be the first tag onto him, now utilizing the middle of bottom mid. Does have the likes of an RNL War and a dropped Power Gym to the edge map where there's just nothing to be working with. The comms were not on point there, did not know what resources had been used within this area. However, that's just enough time to buy ourselves 2 generators. We do need Hwoxin up and at them in chase, and we're really trying to take that hit for him, and we do so successfully. The Lara Croft Xayah, man of the match right now, but does manage to get caught out over towards the rotation of Feng Yang, anticipating that we're going for Hwoxin maybe, or just ultimately being caught into a whole lot of nothing, who knows. But Bravo really going to be taking advantage of these downs and tags and whatnot, and really just trying to get a slugfest going, that snowball effect, and these this killer tends to be pretty grueling and gruesome. At 2 generators remaining, it's still completely doable, but we do manage to get the reset happening in time onto Hwoxin, or resetting himself rather, with the medkit, medkit. Only 2 stages to show for it, so even though a lot of pressure being put on from Zabravo, it can easily, very easily be undone entirely, Gohan.
Indeed, it can. It can be very rough as well, and we haven't been able to spot Feng Yan yet. And honestly, they're getting picked up, and we got the unhook in the background as well. So we're gonna be seeing a possible reset of the entire match, outside of obviously those hooks. And this split now of the gens is very much in the favor of Dream Player. Bravo is going to be having to try and figure out where his tunnel out has gone, or where at least someone has gone, but he's checking in all the wrong places. I believe they just all rotated down to the top side of the map, and it is going to be very interesting to see how they go, because this is going to look like a very interesting game if they're not able to commit and try and get that first down. But we do find our Gabriel Feng Yan all the way here at 1. Doesn't really have much to work with, but he does have this pallet, so he's going to be trying to play around this pallet as good as well as possible. So we are going to get the tag onto Bravo. Bravo's just going to do for the first dash and try and get some slowdown, and he does get the down as well. So we are going to see Feng Yan going to be getting hit here, and is going to be getting hooked on a hook. Not a pain res hook though, as Bravo believes that there has not been enough progress in the map to warrant a pain res. So maybe there is a downside of the question, but maybe he actually is right here and instead not going for that. But we do get the hit onto Xiao Dao Dao. So we are going to be having our power back at full force. I'm going to be rotating down towards this 2 side, and as we know, this pallet isn't really up anymore, so it's going to be interesting to see how Xiao Dao Dao goes around this loop, and he's going to be trying to go for the T and L's and going to go for the T, but no, we're just going to keep going around and trying to get into the locker in time, and unfortunately not going to be making it in time. Going to be getting the hook, and we got Hwoxin is going to have that generator at 50%, and the pain res is going to come in as well. So if Bravo is able to find Hwoxin instantly, and he does indeed, he's going to get that tag instantly back onto the ace as well. So power is going to be switching over to Hwoxin unless he gets the mending, so then he can get that timer going. But we're just going to be playing around the shack as well. So Hunter, what are your thoughts right now on this match? Because it's looking kind of grim for Dream Player, but in the same sense, Bravo's got to put some work in.
No, he does, because look at that split. Everything's all the way over at top, and we're chasing at bottom. Now, the survivors probably want to recollect and reset at some point, but with how far away this chase is from those topside gens, I wouldn't be surprised if they're just slamming out right now and splitting the pressure over towards 2 and 11. It's going to be the down onto Watson, and he still has one stage to spare. You know, I'm not even too sure of his pain resonance, but we do manage to go for the reset in the background there. There's still Poser playing aggressive on the gen, so playing the long and safe game, and you know, the survivors are doing actually pretty well to disperse the pressure. It's their main kind of game plan right now, is to keep the killer on their feet at all times, often Narnia, in inconvenient locations. Like for here, for example, if you were to actually fast vault that and last, this could be pretty troublesome. However, with a down there over at 3 next to a generator that has the potential to be progressed, it's not ideal, especially with somebody over towards bottom being hooked. So it's gonna mean Feng Yang has to really go for the pull and the pickup in the background. Now you do have a Zhao Dao Dao in chase. They have given the enrage effect to Mr. Kaneki once more, but have lasted long. This is the scenario that could have really flipped the game on its head if you managed to actually capitalize on Zhao Dao Dao being found. However, we weren't able to do it in time. I think this section of the map a little too strong, a little too out of our way. Our killer just wants to go back and just get the stages on the injured people, I guess. A little bit more favorable for him. However, this is still going to be Feng Yang in chase as they do vault the window here over in mid. They do have the likes of 3 to be working with, but they win a last minute 50-50 mind game. That was very well thought out and played by Bravo. And again, kudos to him doing so back to back. It's going to be the down onto Feng Yang, which is what you want in this scenario. You want on a generator about 90% of the way done. I don't even know where that is, but it looks like a double, and I think the HUD is just deceiving me, but it's going to be popping just momentarily, and that... Okay, no it's not, because that's a pain resonance, and I am stupid. Well, we didn't hear it. Did we hop off that in time? Because I didn't hear a scream. That'd be mighty fortunate for our serves if they managed to do that just in time. It seems like that was the case. We popped both 12 and 6! Hang on! Oh no! And now Bravo's forced to go for somebody who's fresh, but sees 2 death hooks in front of him. Knows one was over at 12 and knows one was over at 1, so very, very inconvenient for him to be chasing any one of those guys. We do manage to find Yuan, who is ideal, the best survivor in chase right about now. Are they going to be playing for the hatch? Seems to be so, maybe? No, we do have Watson ready to die just for those extra 3 stages. But how do you body block the Kaneki when you're so far away from the exit gates and he has his tentacles prepped up here? It's going to be pretty interesting to see, but we just managed to down just before we commence any funny business here over towards top section again once more. We got a 99 sprint burst there, and that's going to aid us just a little bit. Going to be greeting that pallet straight into the window and trying to cut them off is Bravo, but the back vault has spelled absolute trouble for Bravo to be continuing on the chase. We do have Feng Yang ready to die for the Brethren, and we have not made it. We have the gold window laid out for us. Please, somebody with the protection in, beam up, please. No, oh, it would have been lovely to see. However, they're going to be playing for this, though. Probably just send in Zhao Dao Dao to play for that extra stage. We'll get basically just traded for. It's a little too far away, though. I don't think even with the 15 seconds, this will be pretty problematic. What exhaustion does our Kate have? Yuan. What's their exhaustion? Sprint burst. Oh, yeah, they just make that. They just make the gate all day, every day go on.
Yeah, indeed. So, looks like we are going to be seeing that, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it happens, as well as we now are going to be seeing them just going to be sprinting away, sprinting off the map, and going to be caught by the Lara as well. Zhao Dao Dao is going to be able to catch the Pokemon, aka Kaneki. So all it has to be is going to be body blocking his university, but unfortunately, Bravo did not graduate with honors, so that is going to be the out, pull something out of the bag and just be able to take the match for 6-4, ideally, or 6-3, however they see fit. But right now, situation is we've got crowd control. Oh my.
Ooh,
so yeah. we're going to be taking advantage of crowd control being able to block off that main vault there as well, Hunter. So it's going to be very interesting to see, and they won't know there is a Hex Totem until the first vault on a window happens. So we may not even see it actually be used yet, because we got to get a first vault first. So in 3, 2, 1, there we go. The first vault's happened. So now the totem is active, and it is all the way at bot side. It is in the complete opposite corner of where the survivors spawned. So, and then again, this is the biggest map in the game that we have currently within the pool. I think outside of maybe Ormond Lake Mine, but it is in a corner spot. So it's going to be quite interesting to see if they are able to find it, and if they do find it early on in the match, it is going to be very great for them. But as I was saying, that the first gen has already, or sorry, the first hook has already been happened, and I don't know about what the progress is looking like, Hunter, but that is not the kind of start that you would like to see on the side of Envy.
I'm even going to check his totem right now. It does manage to find out the chase, and we have spotted out the totem. Again, trade-off Gohan for bringing in a totem perk on the Suffocation Pit 1. It's just diabolical at some points. V4 has just led Ellie to that totem. And ultimately, we are not even going for the totem. We're going for the generator progress. We do manage to have 2 survivors currently in chase. One's a Bravo, and the other one being, I think, Mango off the hook. So, problems team. However, V4 closing in that distance straight back down to the shack. Got to be pre-dropping that in front of our killer's face, trying to buy ourselves a little bit more distance. There's about 10 seconds being brought for us at the very least. Now, where do you go from here? Opting to use still the shack and the fillers on the outside, on the out front of 5. So, going to be greeting it very nicely with the tentacles going up, really trying to fake out our survivor to be standing still, and does so effectively. We've ran around the loop again once more. Do we make it? We do not. No, not on ping. Not on ping, my friend. I don't even think off ping you make that, but it's just going to be him slapped over the pallet, and it's going to spell the second stage onto Mango. All in the meantime is crowd control is still in effect. However, it's not very effective right now because, well, we don't have to utilize any windows. We utilize the shack and that was it. We do have adequate gen pressure in the background to at least pull it back to the 4K3. However, that will not be enough. You need, what was it again? 6 stages. So, in this instance, I think, me thinks, you just play for the gens and play safe. Let the bro cook just a little bit longer. However, you can't be found like that. That's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. And I think the guys here know that. But also at the same time, while being so close to the gens, I don't know if that was actually feasible for that plan to really take into effect, especially with 8 just going off the fritz. Now, we do manage to just kind of evade our killer there after coming off of the hook, Mango. Where does he go from here on out? 11's free, 5's free. 5's pretty close to 8, which is very close to being popped. So maybe we go for a commit here over at 5 and then get a double on that to get it out of the way. I don't know what the game plan is here, but we do manage to get the totem done in the background, and we've lost sight of Mango entirely. Was he just behind the block? Yeah, I was about to say, no, I saw you, man. He's got nothing to be working with, though. He has the window in a dream. We've blocked him at the window. Nobody in sight. No, Mango. Oh, and that's going to be the pop of the generator in the distance as well. There's going to be a tunnel out at 4 generators remaining. Again, this is a 3 split going on here. So, you know, not able to get 8 done, though, is diabolical. Yeah, you really need that generator done. That's, oh, I don't know. We're not opting to kick it just yet. We're waiting for maybe potentially Eruption to come back to us so we can get some extra value out of it. Yeah, playing a little bit more patiently, see if we can spot anybody stealthing out for the gen. And there it is, the kick and the Eruption applied. You do see in the background another generator pop for the second generator in the trial, and potentially Chiefs if we don't interrupt it, which I do think we won't, given the fact that there's 2 generators off in the distance, one over at 1, one over at 12. So it's definitely going to be one of those gens. Yeah, the one over at main, I guess. Sprint burst in hand, allowing Tim to buy some distance that he once wasn't allocated, and we're straight back on 8. Ellie on that generator there, about 50% of the way done. Does even pre-leaves it. So definitely what you have to do in this scenario. V4 can click onto that though, especially, oh my, wait, what? He knew she, I didn't know she was in the locker. What? Was that just a random
No, I don't think that was random, because when you think about it, he popped the gen, he knows it was regressing, he comes back and it's not.
Yeah, but why not check the outside of the? Why not check the outside of 8? Like, I didn't think to look in the locker. I guess he's just better, man. Maybe he
just
heard
checked it
her?
first. Okay, actually, that's a good point. He might have actually heard her go into the locker, because he was basically pretty much right on the horizon of getting right next to her. So maybe he did. But either way, that is an amazing boon for V4 considering his win con situation. Holy Hunter, like that is diabolical.
That has changed the game entirely. Chief is just slamming out one. He can't do much because he's injured. Bravo now has to get an unhook and now has to somehow find a way for his team to get 8 done too. So he's hiding out in the basement, you know. Capachungus laid back, chilling, and I think we might even let Ellie go to second here, and that will be 5 stages. Oh, you know what? If Chief was healthy in this instance, I'd almost say that it's doable, Gohan. Because that would mean that after he pops 2, you know, you come out of the basement there ready for the pull, and you just happen to make that rotation simultaneously. You let Ellie last and chase, and just play in 2s, I guess, like harass the killer to some degree whilst in chase, while Chief just slams out 8, and I think there's the second stage onto Ellie. So Chief still injured over at 1. Yeah.
We need to.
I don't know.
To be fair, we do need to get 3 fresh hooks though, I believe, because that would take some precedence unless they get. Actually, no. Does it take precedence? I can't remember off the top of my head if the fresh hooks will take precedence if they. So let's say if V4 gets full on Ellie and then let's say another full onto Bravo, would that still be the win for V4 if he got 8 or the 9 stages, 3 fresh?
You've lost me.
It would, right?
Hold on. So let's say Mango's full sacrifice and Ellie's full sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
That would be a loss, sir. That's 6-2.
No, but then let's say he gets the next tunnel, he gets the down onto Chief,
yeah,
which would be 7-3, and then he gets the full kill onto Chief. Is that not then still the win?
Without hooking?
Without hooking Bravo.
Yes, because he's not allocated the fresh hook, so it's 9, and you just minus the fresh hook, so the hook stage will take into effect there. Yes, correct.
Okay, so yeah, so he has to get Chief, and he has to get Bravo as well. So, ooh. This is going to be interesting then, because now we're in the 2v1 situation. Bravo is already being found. Chief is nowhere to be seen right now. He is stealthing out as best as he can, and Bravo now is going to be tagged with power. So Kagune is going to be at full force. He's going to be having this situation where he's got to be able to get this down and get the tag as well, and then also find Chief right after. And Chief hasn't gone down a single time, so and neither is Bravo. So he's got a full. Oh no! Oh, we have vaulted through.
He just needs to down to Bravo. No, he just needs to down to Bravo and can't remain.
Right here. No. Oh no! Wait. Chief was working on the gen right next to the chase. That is very risky.
You had to play for it. It's a send.
It is true.
It's a send.
You got to send it sometimes. But in saying that, he's got 2 tags. Both of them have to mend to get out of it. He's seen one of them already. He's found Bravo. Bravo has got balance landing. He's going to balance landing away. Chief is going to have to abandon his mending to be able to get away from it a little bit situation. So Chief is going to be able to mend himself. But in saying that, V4 has found him instantly. And then Bravo is now getting rid of his mending as well. So this is okay, we got Sandy on that. So we're going to be able to do that. But now, in that turn, V4 is going to go straight back. Going to get the tag, reset his power, reset the mending onto Bravo. Chief now has to send it. It is a very close game, Hunter.
They're playing so well. Yeah, like, to put it in retrospect for everybody, you can only give up 1 more stage, because that will be 7-3. But then you would need to find somehow to get that generator over at 7 done, and that survivor off of the hook before they reach second. With 2 survivors left on the map, both injured, that's just not doable. I'm so sorry to put it in blatant terms, but it's 99.9% solidified for our killer. It doesn't even matter about that hypothetical situation. We can talk about hypotheticals all day. The real matter is Chief's on the floor, Zabrava's in chase. No exit gates open. The generator's still in the trial. This is 4K1, and that will be the series going to Dream Player 2-0. It wasn't a quick 2-0. It was pretty long tonight here, but like, you know what? It was still a 2-0 nonetheless. And a very good one fought out by both teams, I might add. I mean, Envy not giving up to the very last dying second. Dream Player also just prevailing through it all. And Envy will be the first team sent home tonight. They will not be advancing throughout the lower stage of the lower bracket. Now, if we do get our challenge up, Mr. Gohan Ball, and then go
I
to
submitted it just now.
the final stage. Yes, thank you for the live updates is absolutely crazy.